following material may contain sex, coarse language, and violence. Tonight's episode, Booty Pirates of the Hot Soul.
I just want to get a project finished.
No. Right.
And I want it to be the Ion Storm, so I can call it the Daikatana.
Nope. I already told Ken not to accept that.
I'll bribe him with something.
Barrows is sitting in the passenger seat of a beautiful woman's car. And they're driving through the city in evening. Lights whipping by overhead. She's got her eyes on the road.
Of course.
Serious driving, face on.
I've got my eyes in the rearview mirror looking for people who will drive up behind us and throw grenades like maniacs.
Give me a perception check then.
Or are there likewise individuals?
Oh, I hate that you did that, because I was about to blow up her car.
It's like, no, I'm in a car, I have to be careful. 19, I just double check I'm on the right character. Yep.
Behind you, an ice cream truck is pulling up on the car.
Lisa, we might
A bunch
have
of clowns are hanging out the sides, and they seem to have, like, they've got grenades hanging from a ring from each finger.
And this is a different vehicle, obviously, from the last time this happened.
Yep.
You might want to hit the gas now, bozos.
Alright, I will make a drive-land vehicle check.
I'm going to start winding down that window. Get ready to return fire.
She hits the nitrous, and the car just, like, roars away. A nitrous basically allows you to use your action and move action for double move. So, swerving around the collapsed buildings and rubble and the bad potholes in her sports car.
I will struggle my shotgun off my shoulder while I'm sitting in the car and get ready in case they catch up.
Eventually, she starts slowing down. She's like, yeah.
That was pretty cool. Nitrous, huh?
Kind of not great on the engine, I'm told, but sometimes you need to get away. You need to get away. You need to fly away. Yeah.
Like, man, grenades and cars are a bad combination for me. Seem to happen a lot.
What are your thoughts on grenades in Wamu?
Wamu?
You know, cars, I guess, subordinate.
Huh?
Wamu and it's DC.
AC/DC?
Actually, yes. They were subordinated to cars.
I think, is this like a Nomad show or something?
You know, in a lot of ways, Stardust Crusaders resembled a Nomad show. It was a big trip across the world. But I dig it. You've never. I take it you're not familiar. Okay, never mind. I didn't say anything. So I don't want to make you uncomfortable.
I'll look into. There wasn't that much into Speedball
until you discovered all the sexy women.
Well,
I mean, I guess if you like women like us, you clearly do. So that's all good. Anyway, I guess I better take you to the restaurant I promised, which, you know, is good because we missed the turn like 8 turns back.
Yeah. Well,
The good thing Chew 2 is so cheap.
so, what's this restaurant?
It's a little place called Atlantis.
Ever heard of this?
Yeah, it's a bar. It's like a high-end, like classy elite guy bar. Like, you know, some tough solos hang out there. They've got really good security, so it's pretty safe. Like Trace Santiago and Roger Menez used to hang out there before the incident. We can never go back. It's currently been sort of turned into a more high-end restaurant, especially now since you particularly know in the Watson area to the north of where it is, it's in the Marina District. It's sort of the little island. It's in the top sort of north east bit. There's because like in that part of Watson, what will one day be Kabuki, a lot of Japanese medical and meditech firms are building up, and it's so that's gonna be like a really high caliber, like, you know, this place might be serving like XX and things like that, and like property developer type things. You might know that, I don't know. You could roll local knowledge, and with a 0 because this isn't your area. So just the stat, like.
That would be a 7?
You've heard of the Atlantis, but you don't really specifically know what it is. You know it's gone through a couple of iterations.
And then it's pretty flash.
And like, you know, some tough hombres hang around there, but it ain't no afterlife.
I might be a little underdressed.
You might be, but I don't mind. I might be a little overdressed.
Well, nah. I mean,
she's
right.
just wearing a simple shirt and a skirt, so. Pulls up.
We'll get out.
He gets out.
What was that noise?
Security.
House security.
Pretty good security.
Just not bulletproof glass.
Or chassis.
I'd start with the glass.
Well, I'm not gonna let you take those in.
No, but I'll leave them
Walk
within.
up to a building. It's a bit weathered, but you know it's you know, clearly nice. Goes to an elevator.
Oh, an elevator.
It's actually looks out over Watson across the way. So construction and big robots now apparently.
Big robot?
There's big robots like doing construction. I saw one. I'm not crazy. I'm not
Sorry, I thought it
crazy.
might be a different big robot. Oh, they finally got those in.
And Major D walks up and he's like, can I help, sir?
I believe we're here for dinner.
Steal my party of 2? Oh, of course. Couple of, like a well-presented gorilla comes up. You can see he's got like obvious cyber tech in there, big wide shoulders. Could just be a muscle dude, could be a linear frame. You don't know. He's just like, I'm gonna have to take your weapon, sir.
It's fine. Not here for trouble. Oh, and the door cracker. This probably counts.
Okay, it's a bug. He's clear. Ma'am? Thank you. Certainly, if you will come this way to your prepared table.
Follow along, sort of looking around a little awkwardly. This isn't exactly my kind of
Yeah, you sit down at your table. Big windows looking out there, out the way. She was like, and then it was like, we'll be back momentarily with the menus. Thank you. This place was nicer when it was a bar.
It was a bar before this?
There's a couple of other people at other tables, but
Reasonably empty.
reasonably empty. Someone's playing a piano from the center of the room. A big old grand.
It was nicer than this one. It's got a piano.
I just think it was a bit more alive. This feels too plastic. But I knew I'd be able to get in.
And once the district wakes up a bit more, maybe it'll kick off.
Maybe. I just think it's a bit snooty.
It is a little.
Well, so, Mr. Barrows, tell me about yourself.
I suppose I was a little lenient on the details last time. Well, where do you want to start?
How did young John Barrows become a policeman?
Well, that's an interesting one, I guess. Just a little bit of backstory. Because you know I was homeless. Fell in with, like a gang of children in the outskirts. The mad types. And
We have so much in common.
Well, we ran some jobs for people down out there, moving bodies and the like, small stuff, lookouts, whatever the bigger gangs, the actual gangs wanted to keep us alive, keep us fed. Other groups like us wanted our turf. So, this one kid, can't remember his name, led a group of guys. He was apparently a cannibal. He, came after me one day, managed to pin me down in an alley. Gave me, said he'd make it painless if I came out. And gave me 10 minutes. I spent the 10 minutes sitting there, praying. I prayed that, if God could get me out of this, that I'd, give up the sinful life, so to speak. Well, at the end of that 10 minutes, I was about ready to, get cannibalized when someone on the overpass ahead dumped a body. Body had a gun. Killed the cannibal and his lieutenant. Rest of the boys were only being held together by them, so they scarpered. Lied about my age and went to the academy.
Because, of course, killing a cannibal leads naturally to gotta become a cop.
Well,
Have gun, will police.
I felt with a gun I was only going to fall back into what I swore I wouldn't. So I thought the force was a natural place to start. I was taller and a little more built than kids my age, so
And you had those extra arms.
I didn't have those yet.
How did those come about?
Sign-on bonus.
Oh.
No, that's what I used them for. Linear
Most people
frame.
would have gone for a Sandevistan or some kind of, like grafted muscle or bone lace, but I see you went with the practical option of can save people and still shoot.
Or can shoot many different things.
Fascinating. So young John Burroughs became a cop and immediately rocketed to junior probationary officer.
Well,
Subgrade 3.
at the start I styled myself as the Redeemer. Of course, no one actually called me that.
Bit arrogant.
Yeah, maybe. But it was a good shot, so I made it work. Made my way up to senior officer.
Unless, of course, the one you're trying to redeem is yourself.
Anyway, met my wife, got married, moved my way up to senior officer.
That's right, you met by being bad at dancing.
That is true.
Honestly, this is such a sweet story.
It is.
It's a much sweeter story than, so how did you meet? Dating app hooked us up without us asking. Oh.
That's just the chance of it. I'd say we had a wonderful night learning archery. Well, then the incident happened.
Right, the butchery thing that the media won't stop about.
Yeah.
I have uncharitable thoughts about that. I don't like them,
Neither.
but I also need them. It's kind of my job to suck up to them.
We sort of need to be doing that too at the moment.
Yeah, they're not kind to you.
Tame cyber psycho.
I don't believe that.
I'd be on max tack if I was.
Not necessarily. Not all cyber psychos are good.
I don't think they'd put me in at the Watson precinct, though.
The wine list, sir?
Yes. Could we have a moment?
Of course, sir.
I don't know what any of this is.
That's alright.
Do we?
I'm a little old-fashioned. I would like the man to choose. Of course, it is a bit presumptuous for them to bring a wine list before we know what we're ordering.
Is that how it works?
Maybe just order a beer and see what they do.
Alright. Sir,
Yes.
could we get a beer?
Of course, sir. And for the lady?
And, Merlot.
Of course, sir.
I feel like I'm making a fool of myself.
I'd have been okay with the beer.
I'll keep that in mind.
Merlot, huh? Good thing I've got the money.
Was that pricey? It didn't have anything on the...
Yeah, they don't make it anymore.
Oh.
It's alright. It's like later that the wine arrives and there's a beer. And the wine is nicely presented and chilled, and the beer has a distinct "we sent someone out to a store to get this" vibe about it.
Reminds me of home. I'll drink some beer. Well, you know the rough of my story now.
As I do have some follow-up questions.
Of course.
So, internal affairs agent.
Weller.
Yeah. Other dating girl. Any leads on finding her?
The lieutenant's got people looking. But you heard it's tracking her down. It's difficult. They busted a place, but it was the wrong place. I'm sure they'll find her.
I feel bad.
Why do you feel bad?
I stopped you from pursuing her. If I hadn't done that, maybe...
I'd just be dead.
I mean, I know that, but... maybe, you know...
They'd been gone for at least a half hour by vehicle. I was on foot. Straker was dealing with a cyber psycho and then a bozo. He was covered in that web stuff. I was only hurting him trying to take it off. We weren't getting there.
And I still feel like I'm a little bit guilty.
I wouldn't be.
Especially since you could construe that I have a conflict of interest.
I blame myself more. I was right there. One sleep grenade was all it took. Or before that, with your kidnapping. One of them was involved. If instead of pushing into the gas station, I just finished him off. No microwaver.
Did I ever thank you for that?
I think you did.
Okay.
But hey, it's the job.
Oh, so if you'd not been a cop, you'd have just let it happen.
I'm not saying that.
Well, then it's not just the job, then, is it?
Candace was like that too. I've said too much.
I want to know all about that, John.
You promise it won't get out.
I promise I won't say anything.
How far away is the game?
Like a week and a bit?
Can you wait till then? Till after?
Sure.
Just don't want it to get out while she's getting ready for the big game and all.
I understand.
We did make a
You
promise.
probably also wouldn't want, if it might be something that I might be tempted to use against her in the game. I can't guarantee that I wouldn't succumb to temptation.
It would
If you
probably
really
just
want to win.
It would probably just make her angrier, and then she probably double her strength.
I'd like to see that. I mean, we will easily crush her. As has always been done.
Of course.
Well, I mean, we're specifically rivals for some reason. I mean, you know, she choked me to unconsciousness. I broke both her arms.
Whoa.
She bounced off my head and scored a winning point. I put her in hospital for a month. Not all at one time. It's the game. It's
It
just
is what it is.
It's not like I personally hate your friend or anything.
I think you guys actually probably get along well.
There's not really much chance of anyone getting on well in the near future. I'm sorry, I should not bring up these things. We are supposed to be having a pleasant meal. You orders the menu.
Thanks.
Here, I'll do it.
Thanks.
You'll have the 2-inch porterhouse. And another beer. Thank you. And I will have the same thing. Thank you. Certainly, madame.
In the background, he has to go get the running boy to go get more beers.
I hope they got a 6-pack. Don't get too excited, it's probably not real steak.
I wasn't expecting that. I don't imagine I'd have that in my life. Not corrupt enough, I guess.
Suppose you wouldn't be dating an internal affairs officer if you were corrupt.
I don't think that was a real date. I mean, the app set it up.
Well, so ours wasn't either.
I'd say ours was.
I had fun.
I did too.
Maybe she had fun. Well, right up until the point where she got kidnapped.
Maybe she was. I did feel like I was just managing to actually talk to her, but
I take it you. Despite working together, you don't really talk that much. I suppose you wouldn't. If the movies are anything to go by, internal affairs agents are like vultures circling around police precincts waiting to pick off the unwary.
that is how it feels most of the time.
And she tilts her agent up. I understand internal affairs agent detective Abilene Weller is responsible for the pursuit, capture, and investigation into the Coronado Butcher.
She was.
Jonathan Periwinkle Barrows.
They've really... I don't even have a middle name.
You do now? Yeah, all the psychos have to have a middle name.
Periwinkle.
Like I'd be Lisa makes up a middle name Steele.
Well, where did the name Steele come from, anyway?
So, one of the things that I was conscripted to work in, you can't use the term slavery. It's not slavery when you're in an indentured contract. Was a steel mill. And, look, I grew up big and strong. They used to say, you know, get steel to do it. It's steel with an E on the end and spelled the way the metal or the alloy is, not steel as in I take things. Just want to be clear on that. I'm talking to the police officer. You will arrest me and put me in prison.
Maybe.
Promises. So yeah, it came from that. Of course, I don't know what my real name was. My mother I never knew who she was. My father only ever spoke ill of her, and then abandoned me. Or, as it may have been, sold me.
The bastard.
He must have had reasonably good genetics.
Maybe it all came from your mother. I think you're right.
There we go. Yeah, you're out of practice with this. That's a good sign.
Didn't have much reason to.
So anyway, enough about me. How about you?
Well, Barrows is also not my real name. Or John. I don't know what my names were.
Really? Ooh, how subversive and interesting. A secret police officer with no real name. Like the man with no name. Well, it's too late. You're John Barrows now. You can't change it to the cop with no name.
Yeah, but maybe I could start making movies.
You're not stoic enough. You're not stoic enough. That's your Vince Straker partner there with his gruff little voice. But he's got a deep sense of biting humor. So he's really not stoic enough.
He's a little more Indiana Jones.
Who?
No, you gonna want to kill me with this? Yeah, Kingdom of the Crystal Skull and all that.
Oh, no, I've never watched it.
Oh.
Maybe we could do that sometime.
Yeah, maybe.
Stop being presumptuous, Lisa. He's still looking for the other girl. Don't be pushy.
Yeah.
She said out loud in order to convey that she's still going to be pushy, but has some self-doubt about it, but not enough to stop her.
You don't have anything to worry about there. I don't think Weller's that interested. I'm not really either. I just want to know who she is. She seems like a good person.
Really? Is it? When I know you said I'm a little curious. Like, you said that, but you also said you used to hate her.
Well, if you had gone through the incident and they were being persecuted by this big towering bitch of a woman.
Right.
And she was trying to lock you up forever for just... well, for reasons.
I won't push. Night City looks absolutely beautiful when you're not being assaulted by it.
It does. It's nice, actually, being here, being able to sort of...
You should see Cold Rocks one day. It's dustier. And there's no water except for the artificial sea lake thing that they made. And, of course, immediately got poisoned, so no one can go there. So booster gangers go there, and...
Sounds a lot like Night City.
It's nowhere near as bad. I mean, it is in the thoroughly owned, the benevolent care of large megacorporations and neocorps, some of whom pay my salary.
Can't speak out too much.
Yeah.
It's not really safe anyway.
No.
Doesn't matter who you are.
Indeed.
No, I'm being careless.
Huh?
Well, I can't help but notice your tone over those last couple of comments. My bad.
No, it's all right. I really shouldn't bring down the evening with scandalous and spurious talk.
Anyway, my name, right?
I'm gonna move you to there because that's actually a table that people would be at and not a buffet counter.
Why have they put us over by the soup bowls?
The windows, I'm guessing, we can see out, and there's a nice big thick column for us to hide behind when the inevitable psycho comes in and starts shooting up the place, and you save me.
I will. Although I'm sure you'll help. But yeah, John, because no one knew who I was, and well, we took care of that particular part of the outskirts where a lot of bodies got dumped.
The Barrows, right.
So
Okay.
we were the Barrowmen, and when I joined up, they said I had to have a name. Barrows.
And so you got married under that name? You raised a kid under that name?
If I had known, I might have chosen something else.
No, Barrows is good. It keeps with Brendan's naming convention.
That was my thought at the time.
I just think you wanted to sound cool.
Yeah.
And let's be honest here, everyone wants to be cool. I didn't just keep the name Lisa Steele because that's what they called me and it's tradition, because it made me sound hard as hell.
And it's cool.
And it's cool.
I think it fits you.
I was toying between that and Ultra Girl. But Lisa Steele sounds like a real name, so.
Yeah. You'd have to write that on like forms. They would call it out at the DMV.
There are people in this town called Scum Gullet. I don't think anyone's asking shit.
Yeah, there must be some really entertaining funerals.
I always heard a Night City funeral was splash.
And that's if you're lucky.
The food arrives. Oh, messy.
Thank you.
Now in restaurants like this, it is customary to use utensils. And not just grab the meat with your mouth and rip it off the plate and onto the floor, then growl at anyone who comes close.
But that's what my manly soul is telling me to do.
You must fight it and be civilized, young Mowgli. Man, I always hate how they put so much goddamn rabbit food around the meat. It's like I ordered meat. Did I order rabbit food? No.
No, just the meat. Oh my god.
Protein. This honors my family.
You remind me of the pandas.
Because I'm so big, powerful, but also huggable?
Now you said brother. And you honor your family.
Okay.
So how'd you find out you had a sister?
Clinic. You know, when you become like a registered Zeta Tech premium client, they
run your DNA.
run your whole everything, put you in the database, and they were like, oh, you might qualify for our family program. I was like, I don't have a family. And they're like, according to this, you have a fraternal sister. So some other mother. And so I abused my connections to get hooked up with Steph.
Good.
And nothing else. I mean, I've got to keep some mystery.
Right.
Otherwise you won't come back for more.
I don't know about that.
Curse this weird app.
That's what I thought too.
How it has tortured you.
Oh no, the pain it has inflicted upon me. It is a great burden, but one that I must bear.
What annoys me is I have to go on a bunch of dates with a bunch of dudes I'm not even sure I would ever have picked.
I'll have a bunch of that too.
Like, I don't, Peter Awesome Rocker Boy sounds alright. Not really my cup of tea necessarily, but who knows, maybe he has the soul of a poet. I'm a little concerned about Uriel Violent Womanizer.
Can I have a look at that one?
Sure.
That's
There's no picture. I have pictures off because I don't want to judge people based on looks.
I wouldn't go to that one.
I...
Paid or not. Trust me.
Okay, why?
You might not have heard of the Road Cons too much. We brought them up once before.
We have the Great Khans out our way.
Well, they're a ultra rape gang.
What's ultra rape?
I'm not 100% sure. I don't really want to know.
No, neither do I, but...
And they're led by Uriel Khan.
Well, shouldn't I agree to this and then we can set him up in a trap? And if it's not him, then no harm, no foul.
You're a genius. Why didn't I think of that? I'm the cop.
I have an intelligence of 3. I'm the dumbest person on my team. What she will say is, I'm the dumbest person on my team.
Well, you must have a very smart team.
Well, it does have Alice Cole on it. And her son is also a college graduate with 2 degrees in parapsychology and psychology. What he's doing on a speedball team is beyond me. It's not even like he's the best guard in the league or anything.
He's just trying to be like his mother. What?
Gotta go to training tomorrow, and she's gonna be outperforming me every step of the way. Although I suppose there is something strangely motivational about the amount of abuse she agrees to date.
Let me know when that comes up.
I'll keep you informed.
I'll have a word with the lieutenant. Make sure we're ready.
Does this mean I get to wear a police badge?
I think we might get in trouble for that. But we could probably give you a gun or something.
Yeah, I suppose. I mean, I am trained. Yes, training tomorrow.
You don't sound too amped.
I like training. I don't like how it's cold.
I couldn't tell.
I suppose I am whining a bit much, aren't I? No one likes a crybaby, Lisa. Stop whimpering and put up with it.
That does sound like her. But hey,
I mean, I guess I can't argue she is better than me at everything.
remember that microwaver thing?
Yeah.
Learn.
I've got to have something. I got to have a word to the trainer. If there's a way to actually just tough out a microwaver, or even just learn to ignore it.
I'll talk to some of the techs at the precinct. Maybe they'll have an idea.
I mean, she can do it, so... No, if she can do it, that doesn't mean other people can. She's exceptional, and I'm just very ordinary.
She's a monster.
Her fans are extremely rabid.
I can imagine.
I mean, my fans are pretty committed. Like, my fans. Oh god, arrogance alert. Can you believe I have fans?
It would be a very strange feeling.
I never thought that there'd be people who would actually just do things for me I never asked them to do. Little kids draw little pictures. I don't know what to do. You don't get trained for that.
I'm sure you figured it out.
How do you handle it?
I don't really have any fans.
Yeah, well, I mean, you might want to get ready because you probably will.
What do you mean?
Brave, awesome cop. He stopped a gang war. He and his partner basically retook an entire precinct.
Well, if I could get the media back
He
on my
busted
side.
a drug lab no one knew existed.
That was a good one, then. That's when we got Khan. Wait, no, that's when we nearly got Khan. I just struggle to remember all the things. It's been a busy 2 weeks.
Well, you better remember because you're going to have to do the recaps of the session that isn't the one you had just by yourself. There's got to be something we can talk about that isn't work or...
Traumatic.
I mean, I admit there's some curiosities I have, but I also acknowledge that it's far too early on in this process to be asking about them. But, there's got to be something we can talk about, like...
I've had somewhat of a revelation. It's close, right? Get the combat going. So if you want to ask away.
I also think it's the wrong setting. I am a patient person, and I know this isn't going anywhere. Because you're a traditional man, kinda. And I live in the NUSA, and it's also too early for me to ask you about moving.
That is the big bummer about this, isn't it?
You can do a human perception if you want.
Time to fail. Because this is a stat that I can never roll well at. Ooh, 17.
You can tell that there's something very heavy weighing upon her mind. Specifically to do with that sort of thing. That area you're talking about.